In this video, we're going to go over exponents, and in this case, fractional exponents. I hope that you're familiar with these rules for exponents. If not, you may want to pause the video and write some of them down. Moving right into what's going on with fractional exponents, let's look at the square root of 9. Well, we all know that's 3. We don't often write in this radical sign a 2, but it's understood that when we want the square root of 9, we can write it this way or we can write it this way. Square root of 9 is 3. Another way to write the square root of 9 is to go 9 to the 1/2, which is still 3. We could also write not 9 to the 1/2, we can write 3 squared, which is 9, raised to the 1/2. And using our rules of exponents here, 2 times 1/2 is 1. So that equals 3 to the 1, which is 3. So we have a rule here that is that the nth root of any number that is 0 or greater, we can rewrite that as x to the 1 over n. Looking at our first example here, let's take the square root of 25. Well, we know that's 5. We could also write this as 25 to the 1/2. That equals 5. 100 to 1/2 is 10. It's the square root of 100. I think I can fit a third example in here. 3. The cube root of 8 equals, well, that's the cube root of 2 cubed. So that equals 2 cubed to the 1/3. 1/3. Raise a power to a power we multiply, well, that equals 2. If we have 64 to the 1/3 power, that's the cube root of 64, which is like saying, well, 64 is 4 cubed to the 1/3. That equals 4. 27 to the 1/3, well, the cube root of 27 is 3. 16 to the 1/4, well, the 4th root of 16 is 2. We can do this on calculators as well. You can take, for this problem here, you go parentheses 16, parentheses, caret, parentheses 1 divided by 4, parentheses. Unless you could remember that that really is as a decimal point 25, you could put that in place of that instead. Equals, and you will get 2. We'll just keep moving through examples here. Number 7. 36 to the 3/2. Well, that is like saying the square root of 36 cubed. Cubed is going to go out here. Although we could put it in there too. Well, the square root of 36 is 6 cubed, happens to be 216. We can break this down this way though. This is 36 to the 1/2 cubed, which is, well, 36 to the 1/2 is 6, cubed is 216. Let's do another here. 16 to the 3/4. Well, this is 16 to the 1/4 cubed. And you could do 16 cubed and then raise to the 1/4. You kind of want to use your intuition here is break this down to the smallest you can and then cube it, or then raise it higher. So 16 to the fourth is 2. 2 cubed is 8. If we have negative 4 raised to the 5/2, we have to look closely at this. This negative is not attached to this 4. In this case, with exponents, we'd need to see some parentheses here. So this is like saying the opposite of 4 raised to the 5/2, which is, well, let's see, that's opposite 4 to the 1/2. Break it down first and then build it back up. Well, let's see. Opposite 4 to the 1/2, that's going to be opposite, well, 4 to the 1/2 is 2. So that's opposite 2 to the 5. 2 to the 5th is 32. So the answer is opposite 32. In this case, we're going to take negative 1,000 and put parentheses around it. So that means that negative sign is attached to this number here, 4 over 3. Okay, this is negative 1,000 to the 4/3. We can go negative 1,000. And since we want an odd root, a cube root here, an odd root, we can take the cube root of a negative number. We can't take an even root of a negative number. We can't take the square root or the fourth root, but we can take a root with an odd denominator here. Negative 1,000 to the 1/3 raised to the 4th. Well, negative 1,000 raised to the 1/3 is negative 10. And then to the 4th, well, that would clear away the negative sign because that's an even exponent, so that's 10,000. And 11, we have 8 over 27 raised to the negative 2/3. Okay, a negative exponent here. This means we're just going to flip this fraction. We can go 27 over 8 raised to the 2/3. That clears that negative sign. Now we'll take 27 over 8 to the 1/3 squared. Well, let's see, the cube root of 27 is 3, the cube root of 8 is 2, squared, this turns into 9/4. Let's see, 12. Now I'm going to do 12, 13, and 14 all together if I can squeeze them in. So let's look at some special cases here. We have 16 to the negative 1/4. I just did a negative exponent. This means we can go 1 over 16 to the 1/4. That clears the negative exponent. Well, the 4th root of 16 is 2, so the answer is a half. We have negative 16 to the 1/4, however. This negative sign is not attached to the 16, so that's opposite 2. Negative 16 to the negative 1/4. Well, it looks like 14, 1 over 4. Well, that equals 1 over 16, and that takes care of everything but the opposite sign. We'll put the opposite sign in the numerator to the 1/4. Well, that's opposite 1 over 2. So if you look at the difference here, 16 to the negative 1/4 is 1/2. But opposite 16 to the negative 1/4 is negative 1/2. Negative 16 to the 1/4 is negative 2. I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.